what do you go up with one or two plays, or how does that work?
Well, usually audibles, it kind of depends on what the defense is showing. That they'll give me a couple options, and then it's my job to get us in the best play.
So do you call it every time? Do you call at the line of scrimmage, or is it you go up to the line of scrimmage with a certain play, and if it's like, well, it's going to be zone to the right, but then they're overloaded that way, then you say a magic word and it goes the other way, or you pass, whatever?
Well, it kind of depends. Sometimes it's based on the front. Sometimes it can be, what the defense is showing, but also we could, it could be down a distance. It could be a lot of different things.
Does Lester give you quite a bit of trust and quite a I don't know if a long leash is the way to put it, but a long leash to go to the line of scrimmage and then make that adjustment?
I think a decent amount. I think they're comfortable with me, seeing the defense and me being able to, make adjustments. So I think whenever, they feel it's necessary, that I'm willing to do it.
The play the other day where you rolled out and you ended up scrambling and they gave you a bad spot, what was the look on that play? And then the follow-up, you guys hurried to the line, tried a fourth down play, it didn't work. Well, is that a Lester call? Is that it looked like you were motioning, like, let's do this? Do you have like a premeditated call in that case? I guess those two plays were of interest to me.
Yeah, so, that play, the rollout, that was a fully called rollout, and we were working kind of a newer play, but, I just decided that I thought our best option was for me to try and get it, and I maybe could have kept the play a little bit longer. I do think I was called a lot shorter, and I definitely think it was a lot closer than what it was. Mm-hmm. So I think, when we're able to go hurry up, I think that's a mix of what Coach Lester's thinking, and we anticipate some plays going into every single week of us, in different situations we might want to hurry up, or if we think they're substituting, we can go hurry up, and I think it kind of all depends on the situation. But in that situation, Coach Lester wanted us to go hurry up, and it was just unfortunate that we didn't get it.
What's Lester like in the headset? He strikes me as somebody who might bring a little bit of levity at times. Seems like a guy who just loves what he does and maybe has a little fun with it out there sometimes.
Yeah, I really enjoy it because he's always really calm and collected on the mic. He's not yelling at me or anything. Not yet at least. I don't think I've done anything that stupid yet. So maybe if I were to do something really stupid, then he might yell at me. But for the most part, he's just been really calm and just really, very clear with his communication.
Does he crack jokes at all, or just keep it light?
He keeps it light. Sure. Sometimes, when I see something, or really when things are going well, obviously, it's, we can joke about something that happened. But I think, especially because he played the position, it's easy for me to be like, hey, did you see that? And did you see what I'm seeing? And then he gives me his honest feedback, and I think sometimes he's able to tell me hey, I know what you're thinking. Something else has got to happen, or whatever the situation is.
You mentioned
pretty big difference, kind of looking from last year's numbers to this year's numbers overall from the offense. What do you think is kind of obviously a lot of factors, but what do you think is kind of the biggest factor there?
There's just so many factors. We have, a lot of guys coming back. We have a lot of returners. We have a lot of, there's just a lot of different aspects. And, last year's last year. So, it's kind of our job to be better every single year,
So you had, unfortunately, just one road start last year. It didn't go well. What is there anything you can take from that, or motivation, I guess, to start the Big Ten season a little bit better than last year?
I've played in a lot of road games in the Big Ten, so honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. This is, if we want to be good, we have to be able to win on the road, and I know that there's a lot of guys on this team who have played in big games on the road, and the road game that I played in last year, unfortunately, we lost, but hopefully this year that we're able to get some big wins, and overall I'm just looking forward to it because a lot of these schools have really great stadiums and fan bases, and it makes it really fun to play in.
Cade, I know you talked about Greg Harden a little bit after your press conference. I was just kind of curious, digging more into his background, just how important was he to you and a lot of other athletes, I guess just from you, with your journey in football and everything, how important is it to have people like him and like others, to be there for you and to kind of continue to assist you?
Yeah, so Greg Harden played a pretty big part of my life when I was at Michigan, and Really just the wisdom that he was able to share with me. And, there were times that, some days that weren't very good for me, I was able to communicate with him, and he was able to give me some really good feedback. And I know that there are a lot of high-level athletes who feel the same exact way as I do about him. And I think just overall his presence and the impact he had on people was really special. And I think for, guys at this level, for us to have outlets like that, guys like Greg or, whether it's a psychologist or family members that were able to, stay sane and, as he says, stay sane in an insane world, and I think, those relationships are really, really important for us.
Yeah, I guess I'll send Cooper a text if we win.
Jay, I'm just curious. Do you know what an illegal fair catch is?
I thought you had to wave your hands over your head. I don't think Coop did that. So.
Well, last week we talked a lot about the things that you said after the Iowa State game and the leadership that you exemplified, and maybe some people compared it to Brad Banks back in 2002 when Coach Ferentz shared your comments. Where does that leadership come from, just with you? Where does that come from?
I just say the coaching staff here, and then obviously the room. When I got here in 2020, all the leaders I looked up to, Neiman, Barrington Wade, all those guys, the Campbell, to Seth Benson. So it's just years of being in a program, being in the locker room, looking up to those guys, just seeing how Coach Ferentz goes about his business, seeing how Coach Wallace, is the leader of the room. So I just felt like I do a good job of listening and, using what I've learned over the years.
To add on to his question about a leadership role, obviously TJ Hall had a bit of a rough game, but he's going to be back. He's going to be starting next week from OVC. But did you say anything to him to kind of encourage him to keep him safe?
Really, just remind him to play ball. It's when you're facing adversity like that, you're obviously going to have a lot of guys who don't play corner. You try to go help. There's nothing I can say because I can't guard man to man with 60 yards, you know what I mean? And so you just try to give that guy space, just remind him that the team's supporting him. And yeah, we know he's a competitor. We know he'll respond, and just excited to see what he does this week.
And then for you personally, I know Quinn said, even with a trophy on the line, any game is the same game for him, but Cody said, it does mean a little more because there's a trophy on the line. How would you say this is for you?
Yeah, it's a Big Ten opponent. It's our first Big Ten game of the year. Obviously, we're on the road, night game. I mean, it's a big deal. Trophy on the line. We want to win the game. We want to propel our season forward. So every game moving out is pretty important for us. And we're trying to win every game possible. So every game means that much to us.
Yeah, they're fun, right? Take away some big plays. You guys are, I don't want to say lights up, it's such a drastic difference. Has that been an emphasis? You eliminate those big plays?
Yeah, we're definitely doing pretty good in the run game. I think at halftime they had 10 yards or something crazy. I think that they didn't even want to tell us what it was at halftime. They just told us to keep playing. But yeah, that's part of our DNA is not giving up big plays. Obviously, we're focused on that this week. We understand Minnesota's got a talented team. They're gonna try to hit some big plays with their receivers. Quarterback's got a big arm like they always do up there. So we understand what we need to work on. But yeah, the big plays, that's what we're focused on, limiting those, and then obviously stopping the run. Starting Big Ten play, if you can't stop the run, it doesn't matter how many big plays you give up. If they're running the ball for 6+ a play, things aren't going to be good for us.
Speaking of going against the run, you went up against Caleb Johnson every day for quite a while now, nation's leading rusher. Did you see something like this coming?
I think if you just look at him and look at him in his pads, I think you can see why he's having the success he's having. Obviously, Coach Betts is doing a great job with him, but you have guys like LaShawn Williams in that room, Max White, where you have good leaders that are helping him as well. Obviously he's a gifted player. He goes out there and he looks like he's jogging, but he's moving pretty fast. And when you're out there. But he's done a good job, stepping up for the team when we need him most. He's doing really good when it comes to leadership. I think it's a testament to everybody in that room, all the running backs in that room, and Coach Betts, and then obviously the offensive line. I mean, I'm sure I couldn't do that if the O-line wasn't blocking. So you got a good running back and a good offensive line, creating holes for them. So I think you're just seeing a combination of both those things.
It seems like, too, on defense, maybe a couple guys have mentioned maybe just communication things here and there for some of those plays. I don't want to say encouraging, but it seems like those are correctable.
Yeah.
So some of those big plays, like they've happened, but they can be corrected pretty easily.
Coach Ferentz said the other day, he said our problems are they're head up, or they could be fixed head up. And those are like the good problems to have. If you have problems that are mental challenges or guys are making mental errors, those can be fixed. If you have like a personnel problem, that's a different situation. It's good that we don't have those problems. So anything mental, communication, things like that, those all can be eye discipline. All those things can be fixed. And we've just been trying to practice with much detail, treat every practice like it's game day. I'm sure we'll fix those on Saturday.
Jay, you're practicing against this offense from training camp to now. Is there anything, like any improvement or anything they do different now that just kind of sticks out to you, that they've shown that they got more comfortable in Tim Wester's new scheme?
Yeah, you can definitely tell, like, these dudes, obviously it's a new offense for them. As the year goes on, the longer they've been in it, the more they've been playing in that offense. I mean, I've been running the same defense for 5 years. So obviously when me and Castro, Quinn, Nick, when we're out there, we can just feel what's right. You know what I mean? When you're new to the scheme, those guys are just starting to feel, getting a real feel for what they're doing out there. And I think that kind of shows Saturday and shows in practice as well.
I don't know what the locker room was like on Saturday. It sounded like some people said there was maybe a little frustration in there. But the way that you guys played in the second half, does that help give some confidence, a little bit extra boost, knowing like, all right, we really can compete now going into Big Ten play?
Yeah, definitely. I think anytime we put up 38 points on the scoreboard, that especially the way we try to play here defensively, we're going to be extremely confident with that. And yeah, I think we saw a lot of great things in the second half. We're really just focused on putting a full game together. Just two good halves of the way we play. In Big Ten play, we understand we can't really start with the slow starts, and we're gonna have to finish the game. So just focus on playing a full game and putting everything together.
Anything about the Minnesota rivalry that stands out to you, that means something different to you than maybe some of the other rivalry games? Any special memories you have from this game?
I'd say it won't be cold up here, up there. Last time I was up there, it was like 17 degrees. And my mom said she was shoveling her seat so she could sit down, so she didn't sit on ice. But yeah, this might be the best weather in Minnesota I've ever had. 2020, my first time ever playing. I was so nervous, but I was also so cold. So I kind of just like, first time playing in a college game, you kind of just block everything out. I think I got ran over by a tight end, maybe one of the first plays of the game that I was in. We were up big, but yeah, I was confused. I didn't know what I was doing. First time playing the game ever. I remember that.
That was your first ever college game, as Minnesota.
Yeah, first time I got in defensively.
Okay.
Yeah, because we played Michigan State the week prior, and I wanted to get in that game, and I didn't. So the next week we played Minnesota, I got in that game.
So,
and I think they scored on us. So when the twos go in, it's real important when the twos go in not to give up a touchdown. That's like the number one job. Twos go in, don't give up a touchdown.
Can you talk about the George interception and what Nick did on that play?
Yeah.
Is that like the highlight film for you guys to show how you transition from offense to
great
from defense to offense?
Great play from Jamari. Obviously, his vision for the route concept happening behind him, then making a play, and then Nick just giving all-out effort on that play. I mean, blocks two guys, and I'm running out there and I'm looking for a guy to block, and Nick took all the blocks from us. So any time you got a guy out there who's just blocking for somebody else, who's selfless enough to give that much effort, I think we'll be pretty good. And that's kind of how we pride our defense, how we pride our team, is just do more so your teammates can do less. And you see Nick take two dudes to the ground on one play, and that's why Jamar scored. So we told Jamar he owes Nick dinner or something, maybe a steak.
Jay, this is already Minnesota. Floyd's already on the line. Can you add to that for the last 50 weeks, people are still posting it wasn't a fair catch on
the
social
baseball
media.
games, huh? The signals or the signs behind home
The
plate.
World Series,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All that stuff. What do you remember from last year? Does that aspect, add a little bit more to this game?
It's our first Big Ten game of the year. Obviously on the road at night, trophy game. So obviously that comes with some pressure and what the game actually means. And yeah, we left last year with a bad taste in our mouth. Can't change the call, can't do anything. Not going to get that game back. They probably don't feel bad for us either. So. But we know it's all about this year and how we respond this year, and I think we're most focused on winning this game this year.
Is there some nostalgic thoughts? I guess not that Minnesota's quite bookending your career, but at least this is kind of a full circle moment, I suppose, for you going back up there again.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Parents don't have to sit on ice. They actually can enjoy the game and stuff. So that'll be pretty fun. First time I was up there, it's COVID, so it was empty, So yeah, I guess it is coming full circle.
Yeah, Jay. I mean, you think about every time you go up there, something controversial happens. Whether it's
like Campbell's
thing, or even in COVID, you had, we'll leave the timeouts and take Floyd with us at the end of the game from Kirk. What is it about this series that just seems to poke the bear?
It's just Big Ten football at its finest. I think it's fun. You have two good teams that play physical football, and it's usually the games are cold, so it's like the best of the Midwest, and I think you have two teams that are playing for a trophy, excited to play each other. Obviously the game goes back to a long time, and two teams that are excited to play each other. I think that's what you'll see on Saturday.
Did you smell the cigar smoke after last year?
No, I don't think so.
Part of what I've seen is double team, a lot of bracketing, stuff like that. So I just got to find ways to get open and be available to the quarterback. That's the biggest thing, and I'm going to just keep working to do that.
Luke, for the past year, I've heard it wasn't a fair catch probably every week for the last 52 weeks. I mean, the fan base hasn't let it go, but considering the way last year ended, does this one mean a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely. Every game means so much. I'm in a sports officiating class right now with Deontay Craig, and we are now getting so much about the officials and calls and all that stuff. And we had we had a presentation last week about whether or not referees should talk to reporters after the game and talk to the media, and whether that would be good or bad for the sport. And we had our pros and cons, but I think that one would have gotten a lot of traction in the media, with that ref last year. But as far as it goes, we're all really just focused on this game coming up. But obviously, you see shirts, people wearing it, going all around town wearing the shirts, and just people talk about it a lot.
Is it better to almost block out the way last year ended and just focus on what you can control this year, or can you just derive any motivation from how last year ended? What's better?
Yeah, I think just blocking it out is the best thing for us, because obviously you can't go back and change a call that was made. You can't change a play from any game that's already happened. And once it's on film, it's out there. So we just really got to focus on what we can control now, and what we control now is going out there and putting our best foot forward for the game on Saturday.
Give us some thoughts on this rivalry. Any memories from the Iowa-Minnesota games that have meant a lot to you, that are special memories to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being there in 2022, Jack Campbell had a great interception there at the end. They were driving down there, and he made a play when we needed it, and I think he probably should have had a touchdown on that one, but he stepped out, and then we came back I don't know if it was the next play or not. Spence threw me a great ball, up the middle of the field to set up a field goal. So that was a great memory, super cool there, but now we're just, really trying to keep the rivalry going this weekend.
Was that the coldest game you've ever played in?
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about it. Yeah, definitely. That was cool. I think it's the second coldest game ever played in that stadium. And that was cool. That Logan Jones and I were actually talking about it. And I was saying it to the tight ends yesterday too. It's kind of weird it being so warm going up to Minnesota right now, because we have our for away games the offense wears white jerseys at practice, and it's like it feels weird wearing this white jersey going just to Minnesota right now with it 80 degrees, and you just think it's always going to be colder when you go up there.
Not to bring back bad memories, but what do you remember about the locker room after last year's loss against Minnesota?
I'd just say, obviously after any loss, it's upsetting. That's the biggest thing. I'd just say it's upsetting, but we're trying to move forward from that, and obviously we can't control it.
Minnesota every year has always had big offensive linemen, so size is a big part of it.
I know you played left tackle and defensive end in high school, but what kind of sold you about, or what do you enjoy playing in the interior for Iowa? What do you find so enjoyable about that?
I wouldn't say I enjoy the double teams, but I like the guys around me. To have 3 other guys on the defense line that really understand each other, I think that's the best part about it.
Speaking of those other guys, Ethan having those 2 strip sacks on Saturday, what was your reaction to that? I know you're kind of a loud guy after seeing the mic'd up video. What was your reaction to Ethan?
It's great. It's we always talk about production, and I happy for it. I think the only thing that we could have done better is actually recover those. But yeah.
Okay. Did you ever think about what life might have been like if you decided to stay at tackle, like left tackle?
No. From the athletic trainers, I pretty much hear it every other day. From Cammie, she's like, you could be a really good tackle. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I hear you. But I don't really think about it. I like where I'm at.
It's just the joy of defense. Is that just? I've read about you just like to hit people, don't you?
Yeah, it's grown more to that. I love the process. Loving to learn the playbook, asking questions, being curious. I think that's gotten to expand on that.
Connecting back to something you said earlier, when you take so many double teams, and oftentimes you're not racking up the same stats as a linebacker or an edge rusher. How do you learn to love that process of affecting the game but kind of doing it in silence?
Doing your job. I think just knowing that I have teammates around me that are gonna finish the play, because that's what it comes down to, is finishing play, making the tackle. Knowing that I'm doing my job and everyone else is doing theirs. Don't need anything more than that.
What's kind of been the process of becoming a more vocal leader over these last few years?
Getting out of my comfort zone. I've had plenty of guys, Joe Evans, Logan Lee, Noah Shannon, they've really gotten me out of my comfort zone, and now I'm that guy that's got to step up with Deontay Craig and Ethan Hurkett. So, it's pretty cool to see yourself grow.
What was their advice to you?
Wouldn't be really advice. It's more just their actions. Their actions really speak louder than words.
How important is this particular trophy game to you?
All games are important. I wouldn't say this is more important than anything else. Just would love to see the trophy back in the building.
Any more family, considering it's a little shorter drive, I assume?
Oh yeah, had to scramble for some tickets. They didn't even text me. So they all asked my stepmom, hey, can we get to the game? And now I got a list that I got to put in. So it's a lot of work.
How many are we talking about?
To be honest with you, I think I got 17 plus tickets, and they're just racking up.
I know you were raised more in Mustang territory, but so I don't know how big of a Gopher fan you were growing up. Or did you go to any Iowa, Minnesota games? Were you present in any?
No. Be honest with you, the first ever college football game I went to was the Penn State game, and it was gold out here. What? Been 2019? 2019,
with the yellow uniform.
Yep, that was the first ever college football game, and that was
on a visit.
Was on a visit, and that was the craziest experience. Me and my family, we were really hyped for that one.
Kirk Ferentz was saying upstairs, he said, for 3 years I didn't even know if Yahya liked it here. He said you were just so quiet.
That is
what's your
very
reaction
fair.
to that?
He's not wrong. I did get whooped every day for 2 years by Lindy. So I wouldn't vocalize it, but football was very difficult. I wasn't a very social person, and Chauncey Golston came back and was at a game, and he was like, "You talk?" Like you actually like talk to people. So, I mean, it's just part of being here. You're gonna grow as a person.
So you do like it here?
Oh yeah, love it here. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
So the part of the leadership that we've talked about a little bit, one other thing that I noticed in the mic'd up video is that you're going out of your way to talk to the young guys, teach them things like Maddox or even some of the walk-ons. Like, is that important to you in terms of leadership?
100%. After being here for a while, you learn that like it's great to help people. Like it's like leaving the jersey in a better place is like it's really important because these are the guys that are next, and I would love to see this program to continue. So to help the young guys and like give them words of advice, hopefully they can use it and give it to the next person.
Going into the psychological aspect of that a little bit more, I mean, the fact that you were so quiet for a few years and kind of kept to yourself, have you seen that in other players that you've tried to maybe help bring out of their shells now?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like to talk to everybody, to try to talk to everybody is a big part. And people, as a freshman, you just don't know. You really don't know like what it truly could be.
Among those young guys that you're seeing now, grooming, et cetera, like, do you see anyone jump out that you see as that could be a potential monster to replace Jason?
All of them. I mean, I look at Chima Chineke. He has the longest arms ever. It's insane. And then there's Joe. Put a little weight on him, he can put some work in. Devin Kennedy, a.k.a. Unc. If anybody wants to put that out there, his name is Unc because he dresses like an uncle. He doesn't like it, but like he thinks it's funny. So now he has a shot. I'm telling you, he's got it. He's got a little Unc in him.
So when you say he dresses like an uncle, what do you mean exactly?
I'm talking, he comes in a polo and some khakis to meetings, and we love it. We always acknowledge it. He's cool. But like all these guys, they really have their own, character, and so they can always it'll always show up.
They're gonna be there on Saturday.
Yeah, they'll be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They fly to Minneapolis, and I know you were talking about they fly to Chicago, and then it was easy when they just had Evanston.
Yeah, they're going to fly in Minneapolis. Yeah, I think they'll fly in Minneapolis.
Anybody would have any excuse in the world to not travel that
I
much.
know,
What does it mean to have them at every single game?
Yeah, it's just huge. It's a great. I'm blessed to have that support system behind me, just for them to drop everything that they're doing. And come to see me every weekend. It just means the world. And then this past weekend, they actually, my mom and dad cooked up some food for me as well. There's some home cooked meals. I mean, you can't beat that. So having that support system is just awesome. Love my parents to death. So.
What was on the menu?
There's some spaghetti and rice roni. I've been eating that since I've been a kid. So I got some. Yeah, I got some of that waiting for me at home. And it keeps me going for sure.
Big Ten starts this week. Is there a little different feel sometimes?
Yeah.
You were at Northwestern when the Big Ten schedule starts. Is there
For sure.
just a different vibe? Maybe?
For sure, yeah. I mean, just going in every week, knowing you have a Big Ten opponent, is definitely a different vibe. At the end of the day, you got to go out there and go 1-0, but you're going to go out there versus a Big Ten defense. Big Ten defenses are some of the best in the country. So we're just looking to go out there and go 1-0 every week, though. So.
I'm probably going to repeat a couple questions here, but
all good.
Did being a Big Ten guy, did you follow or did you know about the legal invalid fair catch situation last year?
Yeah, I mean, I saw it on TV. It came up in in our special teams meetings at Northwestern, just talking about just how to handle that. But yeah, we saw it around the country. Everybody saw it. So it was an interesting thing.
What were your thoughts on it? Oh, sorry. What did your coaches kind of tell you? Were they like, this was the right call, a bad call? I mean, what was the situation there?
They obviously have their opinions on it and their emotions behind it. But at the end of the day, it was last year. New game, new field this year. So just looking to move past that and just go 1-0 this week.
Seems like a lot of players when they come into the program have to kind of get educated about some of the rivalries in the trophy games. What have people told you about the Floyd Trophy?
I mean, yeah, it's another trophy game. I think we got a few of them, so it's obviously important. It means just a little bit more, but at the end of the day, we got to go out there and execute and go 1-0. I think that's the biggest thing to it. Just got to go out there and beat the team across from us. So.
I just think the fact that, it's a trophy game and, what this rivalry means. I think it stung a little bit last year, that loss, just because we left a lot out there on the table. So, we want to come back in and, we want to win this game just because, the trophy's up for grabs right now and we know what this game means. Playing those guys, it's going to be a 4-quarter battle. We're excited for it.
What memories stick with you more, when you're carrying off the trophy or you see somebody else doing it?
Definitely when I see somebody else doing it. It just leaves some kind of like fire underneath you where it just hurts, man. And seeing him walk off with it last year definitely hurt a lot. And we're gonna try our best to get it back this year.
Is there a sense? I know he's not here, but is there a sense of rallying around Coop for the play he made last year?
Yeah, I definitely know Coop's gonna be watching that game with holding a grudge and whatnot and all these things. But yeah, I mean, our job is just go out there and win football games. I know he's gonna be watching, supporting us do that, and we're gonna do our best to win that trophy back, hopefully.
Is there a sense when the Big Ten starts that kind of like, okay, kind of ramps up a little bit when the conference play starts? Is there a little different feel?
I mean, it's all the same feel. I think we treat every game the same. I mean, it matters more, I guess, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, and in Big Ten play and everything and whatnot. This is really the start of Big Ten play. We gotta really make sure we're on our stuff. We haven't put together a 4-quarter game yet, and that's what we're looking to do. And if we can do that, we think we have a good shot at winning. I was gonna say West, but there's no West anymore, right? So winning the thing.
The offense in general, though. I know it's just 3 games, but it seems much improved. I mean, how would you kind of describe where you guys are at right now and what's been working for you?
Practice. I think that's the biggest thing. Coach Lester always talks about making it super hectic in practice, right, and making it super hard. So that comes Saturday, it's easier. And our scouts, they do a great job of working us. And it's a lot harder in practice than it is on Saturdays, and that's the way it should be. They're working us, making it hectic. We got noises in the back, a whole bunch of stuff going on, so that when we get to Saturday, like you can just get in the play, relax a little, because you know what you're gonna do, and you've seen it all. So yeah, that's the biggest thing I think.
Can you feel that there's like a confidence building with the offense that there's still a lot to be done, but can you feel just like, hey, we got some momentum, we're starting to build a little more confidence than we had maybe at the beginning?
Yeah, we've definitely seen some things that we can do, and we're excited. I think there's still so much out there for us, which is the most exciting thing. Like when you have KJ and our running backs just running the ball the way they do, like you see them fighting for every single yard that they get, and that's one of the coolest things. When you have guys running the ball like that, like you want to block for them. And I just think especially up front, we know there's so much more left out there for us to go get, and we're super excited for that, just because we're going to continue to improve each week and take it day by day.
How much has the zone changed for you specifically? Because it seems like, the more the grid zone is really allowing your line mates to really get to the second level with regularity and opening up that hole very quick, which KJ's able to explode. But for you, there's not a lot of room. You can't do a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's all really the same for the most part. I guess the biggest difference is just like the motions and, what they see. And, we're taking backers out of the box, and which helps us quite a bit. Like, we're not running against 7-man boxes and all these things. But, I mean, I think everything just happens a little bit quicker now. Like, we really emphasize running and tempo and getting on these guys. Even if you mess up, if you're running the ball, these backs, like, they're going to make you right. And that's just what we overemphasize. Even if there's not a gap or there's not one yet, like, they're going to press, and if we keep running, boom, it's going to hit. And I think that's just what we practice every day. Like, if we can keep working on that, we're just going to continue to get better.
What type of taste does it have in your mouth?
We're not really thinking about last year at all. Just moving on to this year, and just excited for the opportunity and excited to play them.
So far, what do you, just from the film that you studied about Minnesota this year, what stands out to you just from what they do on their offense?
I would say just kind of their balanced attack. They can run the ball and pass the ball, and they're a very physical team, and so we're just going to be ready to go.
Secondary's given up some big plays the last few weeks. What did you see on film that you guys have to improve?
Yeah, we've just got to fix better communication, and obviously just just how we're playing. We're just not executing for those plays, and so we just got to be better.
The team's doing things to you specifically to kind of get you out of space there to make those plays available?
Not necessarily. It's just not execution by us in the back end.
How do you bounce back from a game like that from last week against Troy and now headed into Minnesota in conference play?
Yeah, Troy was a great opponent, obviously, and then we're just heading into Big Ten play, and so we know that's going to be a physical game, and we know they're going to bring their best, so we just have to be ready to go.
Obviously, TJ Hall had a rough game. last week, or this weekend, last weekend, I should say. Did you talk to him at all about it? Like, what did you say to him to kind of encourage him to keep doing his thing?
Just told him to keep his head up, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, it's a long season. Guys have long careers too, and so you can't hang your head on one player, this player next, and we're just trying to move on and get better as a team.
Talk to me about this rivalry.
Just the fight for Floyd, is obviously big for us, and we don't have it right now, and so we're just trying to go out there and win it, against a great team.
I know that in years past we've talked to players who come in from out of state and they don't, really even know about the Battle for Floyd trophy, but I'm sure you knew well about it even from the time that you were a little kid. Any special memories from this rivalry or any special games that you really remember?
Nothing in particular. I mean, just, being here for 6 years, each game's been a battle. We talk about Floyd, each year and what it means to, kind of the state. And so, again, we're just trying to go out there, do our best, do our job, and compete.
Is there anything in particular special-wise that it means to you personally?
I don't know about personally, just trying to treat it as another game, against a great opponent. So.
What can you tell us about the "We Hate Iowa" chants?
Who said
the Minnesota fans? Don't they say we chant?
Oh, I have no idea. To be honest, I don't know if I hear that, if they've done it there or not. But again, we're just trying to tune out any noise, and just focus on us.